Yeah, it depends on where you look.
According to the iPhone,
Yeah.
yes.
According to every clock.
Okay, good evening. Welcome to the fourth and final budget hearing for the village's fiscal year 2027, which begins, on May 1st, 2027 or 2026 and concludes on April 30th, 2027. First, I would like to determine if there are any objections from the board to have three trustees, trustee Alice Slovan, trustee Kamani Levy, and trustee James Iverson participate in this meeting remotely.
I'll have to think about it.
Trustee Schechter has pondered and decided to not render an objection. So hearing none, I call this meeting to order and I ask that our village clerk please call the roll.
Thank you. Trustee Slovan,
Here, though, trustee Schechter, I would have been okay if you threw me out tonight.
trustee Schechter, here. Trustee Kamani Levy,
Here.
trustee Robinson,
Here.
trustee Iverson.
You may be on.
He is landing.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Wow.
In the air.
Trista-
Join us
Trustee Lissa Levy,
here.
Mayor Tennis.
Here, and we do have a quorum. Thank you to our colleagues who are either away for work or have other family matters pressing for making the effort to join us. Tonight's an exciting night because we will hear from a variety of our boards and commissions that have budgets that are part of our packet. And the first is the Human Relations Commission, which is being represented this evening by Ms. Sheila Crumright, who is the vice chair, and by Amanda Sabri, who is one of our social work staff and the staff liaison. So you have the floor.
Thank you. So, yes, I'm happy to share with you an overview of the commission's work for the past year. And just so I'll begin by a brief summary. The Human Relations Commission was created in the 1960s to encourage understanding and respect between Skokie residents with various racial, ethnic, cultural, and religious backgrounds. In addition, the Human Relations Commission further expands its diversity mission through partnerships and programs. I would like to tell you about the work we have focused on this year. So, block party promotion and awards. Our commission is a huge proponent of hosting block parties. Commissioners proudly attend block parties each season, helping to build community spirit. Our annual block party forum, which will actually be on Wednesday this week, welcomes residents to learn how to host a party, featuring past award winners, fun activities, and support from Skokie Police and locally Skokie. Each year, we honor 3 outstanding block parties with our Block Party of the Year awards, encouraging celebration across neighborhoods, especially those with multifamily housing. And in 2025, 85 block parties were hosted throughout the season. Fair housing outreach. The Human Relations Commission supported fair housing efforts this year through both policy review and community outreach. The commission conducted a review of the village's fair housing ordinance with valuable guidance from trustee Schechter. Thank you. This work resulted in recommendations to strengthen protections and align our ordinance more closely with Cook County's human rights. In April, for Fair Housing Awareness Month, the Commission partnered with the Communications Department to share fair housing information through village communication channels, helping raise awareness of residents' rights. Immigrants' rights. At the request of the mayor and the village manager, the Human Relations Commission worked with village staff and community partners to support the implementation of public awareness of the village's human relations ordinance. The commission provided significant input into the development of protecting your rights, know your rights materials, and help shape an outreach plan to ensure residents, particularly immigrants, are aware of their rights and can safely access village services. Hate and bias response. The Human Relations Commission plays an important role in the village's efforts to prevent and respond to hate crimes and bias incidents through education, community engagement, and ongoing collaboration with Skokie Police Department. Guided by the village's procedure for early identification and intervention in initial incidents of hate, the Commission reviews hate crime bias incident data and helps guide educational programming and prevention-focused initiatives. This work became especially important following the anti-Semitic hate crime at Shawnee Park in October 2025 and the April 2026 incidents in Laurel Park and Central Park. The Commission is engaged in extensive discussion and coordination with village leadership. Response efforts have included sharing recommendations with village leadership, meeting with community partners, participating in training for commissioners, and planning future prevention training to address anti-Semitism in the community. We are grateful to have Trustee Pure Slovan as one of our trustee liaisons, bringing significant professional experience in combating hate and discrimination. Thank you, Trustee Slovan. The Commission also continues its regular role in reviewing hate crime data. And in June 2025, we met with Chief Barnes to receive the annual report, and we will meet again in May to review updated data and trends. We are also looking ahead to additional learning opportunities, including a June presentation on hate crimes as a public health issue and strategies for building resilient communities, to be presented by Alana Khan, Executive Director of the Illinois Commission on Discrimination and Hate Crimes. Looking ahead, the Commission is beginning work on the Common Good Project, a long-range initiative aimed at promoting connection, shared values, and community-wide engagement across Skokie. Skokie Festival of Cultures and Skokie Pride Celebration. Each year, we host a table promoting community engagement, block party planning, and fair housing events. Unite Against Racism. The Commission continues to partner with the YWCA Evanston North Shore, even though their Unite Against Racism event is no longer held in the same format. We continue to promote their programming and maintain a strong relationship. In December, Roger Moriano, Senior Director of the Institutional Community Equity, presented to the Commission on the YWCA's Equity Institute, including their work in training, community program, and coalition building. And we look forward to identifying additional opportunities to collaborate with them in the future. Cold War and Civil Rights in Skokie Walking Tour. Just yesterday, and I had the pleasure of attending, just yesterday, the Commission sponsored the Skokie Heritage Museum's Cold War and Civil Rights in Skokie Walking Tour, helping make the event free and accessible to residents. This marks the Commission's second year in partnering with Skokie Heritage Museum to support the community walking tour, following last year's Women's History Month, which highlighted local trailblazers and key moments in the fight for equality. This year's tour explored Skokie's Cold War era history alongside the development of the village's Jewish community, suburban growth, and local civil rights and fair housing needs. And that is a pretty good summary of what we did in the past year. And so I thank you for your continued support of the Human Relations Commission. And I think that all the members of the Commission are proud of what they've done this year. And we look forward to continuing our work on building a connective and inclusive Skokie.
Thank you, Ms. Conrad. I think I can speak for all of us by saying how grateful we are for the work of the Commission. Appreciate that the budget is coming in flat. To my colleagues, we have an ambitious schedule this evening, so I'll take two questions. I'll start. We're going to go to the south side here, and then it's gonna have to be a quick one from the north side. So trustee, this is the
Very quick question. Given the rise of hate incidents and anti-Semitic incidents that are happening right now, and even one over the weekend, do you feel that this budget request is accurate, will accurately reflect your needs to continue this work?
I think that's a really excellent question. And I think the reason that I can say yes is that we have never fully expended, to my knowledge, an annual budget. So we have always had residual funds left at the end of the fiscal year. In the initial initiative that we are looking at, we have several alternatives that will be free to us through various means, either through grants that they are proposing or some of the organizations we are exploring simply offer this kind of training for no charge. So we would like our work in this area to not be one off and then move on. So we're focusing, we have a particular thing in mind that we're focusing on right now. And then I do think that if we can plan and execute things in the coming fiscal year, that we will be able to do it. We will choose things that work for us in the budget we have. So yes, I think that's a long-winded way of saying yes. So,
trustee Robinson.
Real quick, more of a statement. I just appreciate the work that you guys are doing. I think it's God's work. Because you're really going for, providing the education, the resources, and the council of people to really make decisions that's going to impact our residents directly. So I just want to thank you guys for the work.
thank you for that recognition. Appreciate it.
Mayor, I know you said two people. Could I make a fast comment?
Yes,
Thank you. So I want to thank the commission as well. I know it's been a difficult few months, especially a couple of weeks. And the fact that, and thank you for what you said, but the fact that you are taking it all very seriously, we're doing the work, that people want to really recognize the pain of the community, all communities when they're facing with hate, speaks volumes of the people in leadership. So I just want to say thank you to you.
thank you, trustee Pearson, trustee Schechter.
Yeah, I also, of course, am thankful to you. I was going to also, pardon me, ask trustee Lisa Levy's question about the adequacy of a budget. I didn't realize that we don't even spend the 10,000, but I do want to make a point of saying that there's going to be a lot in the coming year, because we're taking a fresh look at the fair housing ordinance, taking a look at whether this commission is going to hear complaints. We might farm it out. There may need to be some monies for that. There's also been a lot of talk about, a Be Kind campaign or whatever that might be, and also with relation to the immigrant rights, doing some kind of lawn signs that relate to Skokie being a welcoming community. So I think that would come under this budget as well. So just, in terms of the amount of work, we may need some additional funds.
So we appreciate that.
So the place to look for that is right here. At the manager and assistant manager, if opportunities present during the year that do require additional resources, we will seek partnerships or look where else in the organization we can tap. I'd also like to point out that the common good, the Be Kind project, I believe that is going to be a function of the park district. I think they are taking it up. Our project is the common good project, and I'm pleased that through the efforts of trustee Allison Pierce-Slovan, we are very likely going to have an intern this summer from the Simon Wiesenthal Center who is going to work directly with human services staff to get that program in shape to roll out.
And I want to remind everybody, and then I really will stop talking, and I apologize for jumping in. I did get an email again from Cook County Against Hate and on communities who are rolling that into their village websites, etc. So not on this call, but let's talk about that as well. And maybe the intern can help coordinate that with the commission, but we'll talk about it later. Just wanted to remind everybody. Thank you.
Keep that intern busy for certain. Okay, thank you. We are grateful. Thank you so much. And oh, special shout out, every board and commission has been asked to provide at least 2 volunteers for the 4th of July parade. First ones to comply. Check, check. So thank you.
But they see a value in, right, that.
Yeah.
Board of Health. So at 6:34, we're going to, our 6:34, we're going to allow a precise 10 minutes. We just have to be fair to everybody, no more than 10 minutes.
Good evening, Mayor,
Good evening.
trustees, and village manager.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm here.
He's
I'm making sure the hot seat isn't too hot.
He's within earshot.
For those who I don't know, I think I know majority of people here, but I'm Dr. Edward Lynn. I'm the chair of the Skokie Board of Health. And I thank you for the opportunity to present the FY 27 Board of Health budget. Before I begin, I'd like to introduce Mike Charlie, our Board of Health staff liaison and and the village's Director of Health and Human Services. Mike supports the board's work year round, helps us ensure that our recommendations align with the village priorities and operational capacity. I'd also like to acknowledge my colleague, Sybil Yao. She's our vice chair. And I thank her for ongoing excellent leadership and support in moving the board forward on our different projects. The FY Board of Health budget request is $800. And supporting the board's core role as a citizens advisory body, monitoring community health trends, advising the Health and Human Services Department and the village board, and advancing public health advocacy in Skokie. Our work is guided by the 2022 Skokie Community Health Plan and carried out in partnership with local healthcare providers, schools, mental and behavioral health agencies, and other community partners. In FY 27, we intend to focus on strengthening board training and collaborating with Skokie area organizations. We also provide input on public health advocacy and legislation, support efforts to reduce health disparities, continue implementing the current community health plan while beginning to develop the next health plan. And the board also has many members providing additional service through the Medical Reserve Corps. This year, in 2027, we're projecting that we will hold 10 meetings. I'll briefly highlight a few of the accomplishments from the past year, so the FY 26. First, the board adopted a work action plan item protocol. A work plan action item protocol to promote transparency, legal compliance, and efficient use of village resources. This protocol provides a step-by-step process for the addition of agenda items to the Board of Health's work plan for discussion and hopefully potential approval once the process is completed. Second, we recognize outstanding partners through our Health Partners and Excellent Awards. We've been awarding annually to individuals or organizations that have really helped us do the work that we have to do. We're launching the Health Sciences Research Excellent Award to recognize Skokie students at the high school level whose projects promote public health education. This year's recipient, Nicole Kuzmanikova, it's the feminine in the Slavic languages, will be honored at the June 1st, 2026 Village Board meeting for her Illinois Junior Academy of Sciences project on the public health risks of overuse of self-prescribed topical hydrocortisone. Finally, we continue strong public health education and engagement, supporting the village's co-responder approach to mental health crises, evidence-based cannabis education, and work to strengthen vaccine confidence. Many board members also volunteered at the community flu shot clinic this past fall They assisted in vaccinating over 1,300 Skokie residents. In closing, the Board of Health's 2027 budget remains unchanged at the $800 level. This modest investment supports the high impact advisory function and strengthens Skokie's ability to prevent illness, respond to emerging issue, and advance health equity. That
Thank you,
answers the
Dr.
question.
Lynn. We have ample time for questions. Who has questions for Dr. Lynn or Vice Chair Sybil Yao? I'd like to comment that last week I had the pleasure of spending the morning along with our village clerk at Niles North. They had an event where students could opt in to have EKGs to test for problems, right? And I met a number of folks who are from our medical reserve corps. And what's great is there's people from I met a woman from Glenview who is a retired nurse. My understanding is Glenview does not yet have a medical reserve corps, so somehow she found ours and she's volunteered. So we will gladly accept that volunteerism. So it's really wonderful how the medical reserve corps is growing over the last few years.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with their willingness to get involved in many of
Yes.
the activities at a large scale.
Any questions? Okay, thank you so much. Keep up the good work. We appreciate it. Look forward to that award presentation in June. I'll have the Commission on Family Services, Chair Harold Renick, and Mr. Renick, and staff liaison Melissa Bush from our Human Services.
Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Mayor. Thank you for having us. First, I really want to thank Melissa Bush and the Department of Health and Human Services for the fantastic support that they've given our commission during the year. It's been a joy working with them. The Commission on Family Services the commissioners are divided into 3 subcommittees, focusing on youth and families, seniors, and the disabled. This allows us to better identify and address the needs of these particular demographics. The proposed Village of Skokie budget provides a detailed discussion of our commission's programs and accomplishments for fiscal year 2025 and propose what we're going to be doing for 2026 and 27. I won't go into all of those details. You should have it there. Just a few of the highlights. We're going to continue to help coordinate the weekly collections of vendors' produce that's donated at the farmers market during the summer, and the monthly donation drives of food and toiletries also held at the Skokie Farmers Market and at the Main Street Market. The Youth and Family Subcommittees is conducting a Mother's Day diaper drive. They've done this for 4 years straight. This will be Mother's Day and the week. Boxes of diapers can be dropped off at several locations, or you can go to Amazon, click on, there should be a QR code with the flyers, and you can order direct from Amazon, and it'll be delivered to the Niles Township Food Pantry. So the information is now available on the website. It's going to be in the bulletin and the scoop. Great. Okay. This fall, the senior subcommittee is going to begin their planning again for the Live Well, Age Well Seniors Resource Fair. That fair is going to be held in the fall of 2027. So we do it every other year, and we've repeated. I think this is probably going to be the 6th fair that we've had. And we held it over at O2 Community Center, collaborating with a number of other organization for the library, Skokie Park District, North Shore Senior Center, CJE, et cetera. The Disability Subcommittee has begun planning a similar fair for people with disabilities, looking for the summer of 2027. So they're at the point of still early planning. They're looking for other groups to collaborate with on this event. In addition, we have several initiatives that we're still considering the details. Youth and Family Subcommittee has been in discussions with local school districts, with the PTO and their staff to determine what are needs and potential areas that they can collaborate with them. They're also planning, looking forward to the new youth commission, and maybe being able to work with them some activities. The senior subcommittee just last month attended the How To Fest this month at the Skokie Public Library, where they had a table and we were discussing transportation options for Skokie residents. The subcommittee also met with the Evanston's Aging and Disability Commission to discuss the dementia-friendly Evanston program and see, are there, can it be expanded into Skokie, or can a similar program be started in Skokie? What sort of recommendations would they make and then bring to the board? Melissa and I met with and one other commissioner started to explore the needs of the LGBTQ community to determine if additional services such as medical, legal, housing, etc., if there is a need or if there's a need maybe for improvement in communications regarding services that are currently available, there may be opportunities for us to collaborate with other groups, but particularly with the Human Relations Commission on an initiative if we determine that there is there. So just examples of initiatives that are in the early stages and that we're working on. And in the budget is $1,200, typically used for publicizing events, maybe supplying some food at the events, and for supplies that we need. So, are there any questions?
We appreciate all your dedication and hard work on so many fronts. Any questions for Mr. Bennett about the work? Trustee Robinson. And
Just a
Trustee
quick comment, thank you for all the work, obviously. We have at the high school disabilities fair, a summit each year. And so I just want to see how there could be some collaboration there.
Here, thank you for letting us
know.
know. And I'll convey that also to the chair of the subcommittee, and we'll be back in touch.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trustee Ratz, and it might be helpful in getting this off the grounds. Thank you for me. Trustee Schechter.
Yeah, and I have to say, I've been happy to be a liaison to the commission and all the good work that's being done. And I'm just curious what the general thinking is about how this commission will interface with the youth commission, the new youth commission. How they'll, the youth commission, is the Family Services Commission going to sort of offload that part to the youth commission?
I think it's too early to answer that. I do. I think the youth commission maybe can help inform more of the Commission on Family Services by saying, here's how you could help. But I think the youth commission is more focused on providing the youth. Certainly we want to hear from them, but it's also providing them opportunities to become involved, to learn more about governance, to learn more about how our board and commission structures and all. So I think I think we'll see, you know, after the first year, getting the youth commission launched in August, having it go through for 1 year. I think it will be important to have some of those youth commissioners. You know, one of their assignments during the year is going to be to attend another board or commission, so it will be helpful. Yeah, and maybe if your youth subcommittee meets, maybe there could be some collaboration there. So we will definitely keep that in mind as the new commission shapes up.
Ideally, oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, if they identify particular needs, for instance, and you know, we will work collaboratively with them. Maybe they would like to also assist an initiative that addresses those particular needs, you know. Be interesting to say this.
Trustee Robinson.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think they serve two different purposes. However, there are definitely some opportunities to collaborate as far as programming and support, 100%.
Great.
And I would just add, the concept really is to add to the work that we're doing and to not just take work from one place and move it to another. And so it's really an opportunity to provide those leadership opportunities for our youth, for them to pursue ways that we can make the community even better. And so it's really in addition to the work, the way I see it, the services commission, as it relates to the youth of the community.
To me, it's always a really good thing when our commissions can collaborate on specific projects. So I think we all need to keep that in mind. Who else can be at the table to enrich the thought processes around some of the programs and issues that they work on? Any other questions?
Oh, I do have one question for Melissa. Did I miss anything?
No, you did a great job, Carol. Thank you.
And I saw a thumbs up on the screen from trustee Kamani.
Yeah, I just no, not a question, but I am glad to hear that there will be some collaboration between the commissions, especially considering what's happening with the federal landscape. I feel like it creates an urgent need and real opportunity for the Commission of Family Services to expand its role within the community.
I will
So
say
thank you.
Been very cognizant of the needs of the community, especially regarding changes to SNAP, for example, and how can we continue to provide some support to those who are food insecure.
We received data from the township today that the cuts that are being made to Medicare starting next month are deep and will impact hundreds of Skokie residents. So I think we're all gonna have to, as a community, we're gonna have to take a look at how we work together to fill that gap. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. During our changeover, I'd like to acknowledge the fabulous Skokie Fire Department sweatshirt being worn by trustee Kamani Levy. Very jealous of that sweatshirt. Next up is our plan commission, with Chairman Paul Luke and staff liaison, Ms. Johanna Neidman, who also is our community development director.
Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Paul Luke. And this past year, we've been pretty busy. But I think we've accomplished quite a bit, you know, in the way of commercial development, some residential development, some retail. So as of April 14th of 2026, Planning Commission reviewed 32 cases. 13 involved special use permit requests, 6 site plan approval cases, 2 parking determination cases, 4 modified review cases, 2 zoning map amendment cases, 3 zoning chapter amendment cases, 1 subdivision and 1 street vacation. On top of that, last April, we, Plan Commission, along with the Paris Commission and Zoning Board of Appeals, participated in a training session that was put together by the village. And this was to, keep us informed of the latest, changes in laws, the way meetings are operated, how it function, and also the open meetings act.
That was in February. Unless there was one in April of last year that I've forgotten.
So the plan commission participated in one that was sponsored by the American Planning.
By the American Planning
And that's
Association.
Right, okay. Oh.
Yep.
And in that one, I think we discussed, what mainly how we operate it is. So, the one you're referring to, was I think sponsored by the law.
It was February 5, right?
Right,
Village.
yeah,
Okay.
so this is an ongoing, village, program to keep us all informed, and how to operate legally within, new changes to the law. So that's about it, so we're pretty busy.
Any questions for Mr. Luke or Ms. Nyden? Trustee
Yeah.
Schechter.
Yeah, and I thank you for all your work. I just wanted to mention something that I mentioned during the budget hearing for community development, and that is that I would hope that under the FY 27 objectives for the Plan Commission is to rework the findings of fact document to make it conform with the new housing chapter with comprehensive plan and the sustainability plan, because right now the set of questions that you're evaluating don't incorporate anything with regard to affordable housing goals. Or I think there's some touching on transit in the development, but I would think, especially since we're also going to look at additional zoning or planning house implementation. Just, it seems to me that we have to update that.
I think it might be a good idea to take a fresh look at how those findings affect. I think they've been presented the same way for a long time. Maybe there's a fresh way to put them together that would incorporate some of the new values and objectives in a way that is easier for lay people to digest as well.
And bringing in the strategic plan as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Trustee Schechter. Trustee Levy. Listen, Lee.
We just completed a study and audit of the permitting department, and I think that a lot of those recommendations are going to speed along the request for permits from residential up to commercial, which is a very exciting and great thing. So my question is for you, and this also goes to the CDA, is with this increase in budget, how will that money be used in service of that goal?
So I think I'll offer to take that. The chairs of the boards and commissions don't necessarily touch those. They haven't read the report. Yeah,
Oh,
that hasn't been part of
I
their
see.
review. We will provide a briefing we were waiting for the board to review it.
Gotcha.
Budget and provide some context for the
So
boards.
I jumped around a little bit with this question.
But I would say, things that were recommended there have more to do with how the staff operations and the village day-to-day operations. There were recommendations to make sure people are moving through processes more swiftly. So that is something we're gonna be looking at and then making recommendations for how to implement those.
And that doesn't necessarily touch the work that the commissions do.
It would, because they're the group that reviews and opines and makes a recommendation to, but the work that they do is reviewing it based on the performance to the village code and based on performance to the comprehensive plan, not necessarily how quickly somebody got their permit or how quickly they were serviced or the process. They don't touch the technology pieces of that. They don't touch BSA. BSA is the tool we use. They don't participate in that.
Trustee Levy, is your thought, I want to make sure I'm following your train of thought. Are you thinking that because of these efficiencies that we're hoping will be built in, that there will be an influx of cases?
I'm wondering if the budget increase request that is about professional development and conferences and things like that, how that is gonna relate back to the goals of the audit and the goals of.
Well, APA planning, I mean, as I read it here, the $1,000 is due to an increase in the APA American Planning Association membership costs. So certainly, I would imagine that we.
Yeah, so right now, the way the three local land use plan, appearance and ZBA. Couple things are happening. One, appearance added 2 new members, so that there's an increase there for the additional membership. There are also not been money allocated for appearance commission to be have APA memberships or to do any training. So we're moving some money that had been previously allocated for plan commission over there. So it relatively is cost neutral, but we're just trying to APA. Example, there was one that was just posted last week about another APA planning opportunity for plan commission ZBA appearance members statewide for a luncheon or an opportunity. So we're going to offer that so people can talk to other commissioners across the state and get that. But there's a cost to every single one of those things. We want to make sure that we're on the same level playing field as other communities. And this is one of those opportunities that the commissioners have that opportunity to act and be with other ones. And then the state planning grants often has had a plan commissioner training, and so they haven't offered that in person since COVID, but we're hearing that could return to in person opportunities. We want to be prepared where that happens.
Okay. Trustee Robinson.
I'll be soon. First, I know that you guys usher in all of the technical details and get it helped, through the commission to be able to make those recommendations for the board. So I just want to recognize all the time, talent, the technical work that staff is doing, as well as the commission to move those. I know it's a lot. So nice and better, guys.
Thank you for acknowledging that, Mr. Robinson. Any other questions for Mr. Lee? Ms. Knight. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is zoning board of appeals. It's the two Brians, Chairperson Brian O'Donnell and staff liaison Brian Augustine from our property, help me, I'm gonna say the old property standards, what is it?
Building inspection.
Building and inspection services.
You just said Bill.
It'll always be property. Building.
The Brian and Brian show once again.
Brian.
Yeah, for how many consecutive years, I don't know, but it's been a while. Good evening, everybody. Corporation Council, staff, trustee here. I'll go over what the zoning board of appeals has done as of 2020, as of April 14, 2026, we had 8 total cases. 6 residential side yard variations, which seem to be most of the time our bread and butter, because they usually have to do with home improvements where a resident is building straight up, and therefore they're generally in violation of side yard requirements, front yard requirements, because the house was built like in the 50s or 60s. And of course, the zoning ordinances were a lot less stringent than they are today. One was a floor area ratio variation, which was interesting because it had to do with a basement, and the basement was like 2 inches above grade, which instead of making it a basement, actually made it, a livable space. So as a technicality, which was dealt with. And then the last one was an appeal to an administrative decision. That's it. As I mentioned before, I think if you recall, the zoning board of appeals is never really as busy as the plan commission. We're in case of emergency, break glass sort of thing. People come to us as kind of a last resort sort of thing, because usually they like to work things out with staff first. That way they can get moving right along on what they want to do with their property without having to, file the paperwork to come and see us, have to pay the fee to come and see us, have to wait several months to come and see us. So, like I said, so as a result,
we inherently stay less busy than plan commission, which is proactive and, you know, gets into things, whereas we're more of a responsive sort of board, so.
Any questions for Chairperson O'Donnell? Yes.
Yeah, just a quick question, the change to the zoning code that we just made last Monday with regard to liberalizing, adding, you know, additions on homes, is that going to make things, is that going to make things a little, is that gonna lower the workload? I mean, how many cases did we have that had to do with what we just?
Well, this is something that just got enacted last Monday.
Yep.
So it was,
would-
so it hasn't been enacted yet. We will be bringing it back in the ordinance.
Second reading.
Okay.
Correct. It was
But-
approved at the last meeting, correct?
So Brian, in the past year, I can think of at least one case that the ZBA heard in regard to that situation.
Yes, there was a few names. And depending on year, I know this past fiscal year was busier for the ZBA than the past several years. It just depends really on the building cycle and how things are doing in the economy a little bit too. But that will reduce the workload probably slightly, but won't affect any parking variations or ratio variations, building height variations, stuff like that. But it'll take it probably, it'll make a little bit into caseload.
Hopefully it won't be as drastic as when we did the fence thing.
That was a large reduction immediately when that was there.
The ordinance changed some years ago that made and set an absolute fence height. And most of the ZBA requests, a lot of them had to do with fence height.
Probably half the
Half,
cases.
so once that, the code was changed to make it 5 feet, that's it, you're done. The workload went down drastic. Any other questions, comments?
But that being said, it also reduced the bureaucracy that people had to go through in order that they could go ahead and do stuff right away. So it was actually a big win for the community.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah, well said.
Yeah, a lot more residents were happy that you didn't have to have a open fence, you can go with any style fence, and the height did go from 4 to 5. And that made a lot more residents happy.
Okay, if there are no other questions, thank you. Appreciate your leadership.
Yeah, thank you.
Parents Commission.
Actually, this is one.
We have the fantastic team of Mr. Thomas DeMario, am I pronouncing that correctly?
100%.
Vice Chair of our Appearance Commission, and Angel Schnur from our Building and Inspection Services. Did I get it right?
You did?
Okay.
All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us in tonight. My name again is Tom DeMario. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Appearance Commission, which is responsible for enhancing the quality of the built environment and reviewing all proposed new buildings, aesthetic changes to existing buildings, signage, landscaping, etc. We meet at Village Hall on the second Wednesday of each month at 7:30. Love to see you there. Over the past year, the Appearance Commission has heard 55 cases, including 34 residential additions, 4 new single-family homes, 1 new multi-family development, 2 mixed-use developments, 5 new non-residential, commercial or institutional use developments or additions, and 9 facade or sign alterations. A couple of noteworthy projects are 46 unit multifamily townhouse at 4600 Main Street, the former Gary Crown Day School, and the 66 unit apartment building at 8201 Skokie Boulevard across from the Swift Station. Other highlights include the Appearance Commission members participating in the training mentioned earlier, facilitated by the Illinois chapter of American Planning Association. Our members joined members of the Plan Commission and the Zoning Board of Appeals for that meeting. Lastly, for this upcoming year, there was an increase of our commission from 7 to 9 members, and the costs associated with that. Additional expenses were added to offer APA commission memberships to the Appearance Commission members, as well as allocate funding for additional training opportunities in subsequent year. Membership and training expenses were offset, stated earlier, by reallocating training dollars in the planning commission budget. That's it.
Questions, comments, Mr. Mario? What's been a most challenging case to come in your estimation before the Appearance Commission this year? Just in general, without giving addresses, what's been the biggest challenge?
Well, it was named in my report. There was a lot of public interest in the 46 unit multifamily conversion or use of the site at 4600 Main Street. And rightly so. The local community felt that, and as the board or the commission, that it was too dense, it was too tall, it was too everything, and there was a lot of community concern about that. Under the leadership of former chair Mike Link, we didn't vote after at least 2 meetings, sent the parties back to huddle together, come up with a better idea that was brought to the commission, and ultimately there was still some disgruntled neighbors, couldn't keep everybody happy, but we did a good job of hitting most of them. But that was the biggest challenge, really in my time as commissioner.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? I'd like to just thank you for your leadership. We do have a new chair. Mark Penning is the new chair of our Appearance Commission, and having an experienced vice chair is helpful with that type of transition. So thank you
Happy to serve.
for your leadership, and thank you for filling it. Thank you both.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you again. Good night. Public safety.
Good evening.
Good evening. So Public Safety Commission, represented by Chair Melissa Villegas and Russ Redfeld, our senior engineer staff liaison. Floor is yours.
Hi, it's my first time ever coming to it. So I
Welcome.
heard we should give you some highlights as to what we worked on over
Yes,
the past
please.
year. The 2 big things we did is we were part of the reducing to 25 mile per student plan for costs. The village, when applicable, and we did some education events. We partnered to do the National Night Out as well as Backlot Bash. And recently we've been looking at e-bike ordinances, so talking a lot about getting updates on what's going on in the state. So the institute's been talking to other villages, sort of hear what's going on there. And so I think this upcoming year, those conversations will continue. Other than that, every single meeting we have updates from the police, fire, and engineering divisions, and lots of just really good conversation come up when we look at the data, the reports, and presentations. Is there anything else? Any questions?
Questions about the Public Safety Commission? Trustee Schechter.
Yes.
Thanks for all you're doing, and I realize that your commission is very much interdisciplinary with, say, human relations and others, but just, you know, in terms of, for example, all of the civil and immigration enforcement actions, is that something that you've sort of taken on in terms of getting reports back from the police, or trying to finesse communications with the public through the commission?
We've gotten reports from the police chief about it when it was happening.
We did hear it fell more under the Human Relations Commission, so we haven't really discussed it further. But we're open to talk about it. We just sort of heard it sort of fell under a different commission or fit better there. But we do ask questions anytime it happens, and we have discussed as a commission. But we haven't made any other efforts there.
Yeah, I can just tell you that in human relations, because I'm the trustee liaison, we really haven't talked all that much about it, except early on when we helped to get the flyer in multiple languages about immigrants' rights, but nothing about, making sure that the public understands, what is a cited, when can people, when can we suspect that there's an agent here or not here, things like that, that can create tension between residents who maybe don't trust the police versus the police who maybe think residents don't understand what their job, what their job is. Seems to me like this commission could
Maybe later this year, so the Public Safety Commission and Human Relations have collaborated on numerous projects over the years. Right now, they're not collaborating on anything specific. I think with the work that we're amping up now about the hate incidents in the community, I think I was just talking over dinner to the chair that we might be bringing them in to help with that. Maybe further down the road this year, there could be some collaboration around immigration enforcement. So certainly great suggestion, Trev. Again, anytime our commissions can work together, it makes us stronger, it results in more robust, thought partnering and resulting programs. So thank you. Trustee Kamani Levy.
I was thinking of a similar sentiment that this commission could potentially partner with some of our other commissions. But there was one question I had about the membership dues line item. What does that go towards? And is there an opportunity to share whatever comes out of these memberships with the commission?
I think it's mainly the nameplates when we have new commissioners rotate on. It doesn't really anything else.
Oh, okay.
Trustee Levy, where are you looking at? What line item are you looking at?
The membership dues 0560.
Oh, membership dues. Yeah, why is that categorized as membership? It's really more, there's no dues, it would be more off like supplies.
Sure, supplies, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, a good question. Any other questions or comments? Hey, thank you for your hard work. I know that's a large commission, and thank you for your work. And it is great that it's interdisciplinary. Every meeting, everyone speaks. They get reports from the big three: police, fire, and traffic safety / public works. So yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And now our Fine Arts Commission. With Chair Ellen Barish. Hello. And Staff Liaison Meredith Joya, our Communications Manager. Floor is yours. Well, thank you. Yeah, we're getting.
I can do it for you, Mary.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
All right. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and trustees. Fiscal year 26 was a year of real momentum for the Fine Arts Commission and the storefront. We saw measurable growth, deeper community engagement, and a clear strengthening of Skokie's creative landscape. I'd like to walk you through that profile. Recognition and support. Recognizing the artistic endeavors already happening in our community remains central to our mission. This year, we honored two remarkable contributors. Joe Felice received the individual award for artistic excellence for his lasting impact on the arts community. And Peter Seaman and Seaman Violins received the group award in recognition of their contributions to Skokie's reputation as a center for violin making, fine craftsmanship. Both were recognized with profiles in the Record North Shore, a nice reflection of the broader community value of that work. We also continued our investment in young artists through the annual SOAR exhibit at Oakton College. During Youth Arts Month in March, artwork from more than 20 Skokie area schools was on display. Our young artists and arts educators are something we are genuinely proud to support. And in October, we used the Village's Explore Skokie platform to spotlight local arts organizations and events throughout Arts and Humanities Month, a simple but effective way to amplify the creative energy already present in our community. A strategic shift in grant making. This year, we made an important change to our grant programming. We introduced the Storefront Fellowship, which provides artists with funding, dedicated space, and support to develop and present new work right here in Skokie. It emphasizes experimentation and process, not just finished products. This year's recipients, Rachel Molinaro and Tim Forkus, are developing a world premiere that will debut at the Storefront at the end of May. Their work integrates live music and dance with interactive technology. A dance solo incorporating light and shadows, a music solo blending sound and light, and a duet performed in conjunction with responsive technology. It's exactly the kind of bold cross-disciplinary work the fellowship is designed to support. We also launched the new arts programming grants, which focused on supporting new or expanded initiatives that go beyond an organization's routine programming. I'm happy to announce that the commission recently voted to award the first $5,000 grant to Orchard Village to expand their 16-week standing ovation theater program to even more participants. Together, these changes move us beyond simply recognizing excellence. We are now actively investing in artistic creation and innovation. The Storefront fiscal year 26 was a year of activation and growth. Thanks to the Public Arts Advisory Committee, the space now features a beautiful new mural from Skokie-born visual artist Sarah Boone, and we invested in a new LED neon sign, which you can see right there below, that adds to our visual presence on the Main Street corridor. Throughout the year, we hosted more than 40 program dates spanning visual arts, music, storytelling, studio practice, markets, wellness programming, and cultural celebrations. From September through December, we hosted Dialogue Chicago, an interdisciplinary critique seminar that ran for 12 sessions and brought practicing artists and educators into the space, genuinely elevating the level of artistic discourse happening here in Skokie. We welcome Scrappy Affirmations for recurring storytelling events that drew engaged adult audiences, and monthly star sound bath meditation sessions introduced new visitors and expanded our wellness programming. Hands-on opportunities like weekly ukulele lessons, empowerment doll workshops, and creativity lab classes invited residents to participate actively rather than just simply attend. Cultural and civic events, including Skokie's United Hispanic Heritage Month celebration and the village's community flag design event, reinforced the storefront's role as a welcoming civic platform where culture and community intersect. We also supported several exhibitions, including Yolanda Castrodon's first solo show, works by Leonid Asani and Vasi Vasevsky, and the Fine Arts Commission's second annual Skokie art exhibit featuring 25 local artists. That opening reception drew approximately 150 attendees, a turnout that the artists themselves described as exceptional. I would say that too. Okay. So looking ahead, the momentum continues. Fiscal year 27 calendar already includes a staged reading of a new short play, a multi-week photography class, musical performances, and 2 art exhibits, a strong signal of sustained demand and growing recognition of the storefront as a dynamic cultural destination. Fiscal year 26 confirmed what we've believed all along. The storefront can serve many roles at once: studio space, creative marketplace, performance venue, classroom and civic gathering space. Through recognition, reimagined grant making, and consistent programming, the Fine Arts Commission is strengthening Skokie's cultural landscape, supporting artists at every stage and expanding meaningful access to the arts for our residents. Thank you for your continued support this month.
Thank you for that presentation. Wow. Great work. Thanks to you and the commission, Meredith. Really, the storefront in a short period of time has become such an important community hub and community gathering space, and so integral to that new revitalization. So thank you. Questions, comments? Or, yes, trustee Chapter.
This is all great work, you know. My question is simply, looking at the budget, I'm seeing, just wondering what these contractual and professional services are. Budget.
So the budget, the $10,000 is set aside for the grants. And so
The grants.
So that is the $5,000 storefront fellowship grant, and then the other $5,000 is for the arts programming grants. And then the additional funds that are in our budget, I think it's about $3,400. Those go into the fine arts programming, and so it covers catering for any events we hold. We've also purchased, invested in a number of things for the storefront. We purchased some high top tables so that when we have the opening for different exhibits and stuff, we're able to have tables. And we invested last year in a permanent hanging system, so we're not putting holes in the walls when we're hanging an exhibit, so we don't have to plaster and paint. We bought 30 folding chairs this year. We found out that the chairs that the village was able to provide weren't enough for some of these scrappy affirmation storytelling events that sell out. So we purchased those, and then we also just got a pipe and drape system so that we can hang a curtain for some of these performances to make it seem to give it a little bit more of a professional look to it in the background for the performers.
I guess this is maybe more a question for Mr. Lockerbie, like, what, if these are grants we're giving out, why don't we label it as grants?
There may not be a line item associated in our BSNA system that has a grants line item. That was the closest one that we bring in.
And also, do you make sure, I mean, I'm thinking of all the ADA work that we're doing, do you make sure everything is accessible?
Yeah, so the storefront is accessible in that there is a ramp that leads into the main gallery system. And actually, when we moved in, there was some furniture that was affixed to the wall, some benches and shoe storage. It was a previous dance studio. And so we pulled all that out so that there was enough room for someone in a wheelchair or some kind of assisted mobility device to be able to get up and down that hallway.
Thinking about the grant that went to Orchard Village for their standing ovations.
Yes.
So I just toured there last week, and this is an example, really without even realizing it, of an overlap between the Fine Arts Commission and the Commission on Family Services that serve, they have a subcommittee for residents with disabilities. Well, here you go. This is a $5,000 grant to an organization that serves adults with disabilities to provide them with an option for fine arts and performing, which is excellent. So great crossover.
And in fact, on Friday, they have a performance at Skokie Public Library that they just told us about. So they're 7 o'clock.
Other comments or questions? Okay, keep up the good work.
Thank you.
We'll see you at the storefront.
Yes.
Please, come by. Okay, last but not least, beautification and improvement. We have our chair, Valerie Schuman, and Kathy Stevens, staff liaison, village forester. Please.
Thank you. All right, we have a little presentation. We'll try not to take too long because it's the end of a long day for all of you, so we'll go quick. But we did have a number of exciting things that we also wanted to share with you. And the little tagline on here, we're still tweaking, but the thought behind a lot of everything we're doing is beautification and improvement. We're taking the improvement part really seriously. This is an opportunity to improve our environment 1 yard at a time, and we're making it happen. So if you want to go to the next slide. We talked a lot about, what's our goal? And we're really looking at improving the quality of life and the value of property for all Skokie residents. And if you start looking down the list of opportunities, by improving our greenscape, we can improve our property values. We can improve our sales in our commercial districts. Lately, kind of an important topic, we can improve our water management. We can reduce those heat islands, improve our air, and that really gets us to what you see in that lower right-hand corner. You can see it from here. A more active, engaged community that wants to be outside in nice, cool, pretty green spaces that are comfortable, as opposed to the top of that picture where, I don't know about you, but that's not a front yard I would really want to spend a lot of time hanging out in. So what do we need to do to make that happen? We're thinking more trees, no empty parkways, so we've been partnering closely with Kathy on that. Another thing that you're going to be hearing more from us about is no concrete to the street. We do have setback rules, but we don't always follow them. Well, if we don't follow them, we get a building and we get concrete and there's nowhere to put those pretty green trees. So we would like to pound the table a little bit and say, hey, leave us some space. We can't grow where there's no dirt. The other thing we are encouraging very much is more natives. We called it Blooming That Boring. The picture that you see there is actually one of our award winners. You see the difference between that gorgeous growing blooming yard full of butterflies and things and the lawn next door. We're trying to encourage that. The other massive thing that natives do, that's part of your water management, they have lots of deep roots. You don't have to water them, they water themselves, and when you get all this rain coming down, they absorb it, which is what we want them to do. And then of course, that gets us to more wings, butterflies, bees, birds, all kinds of happy creatures show up. My own backyard, I showed up in 2008 and it was turf grass. There weren't a lot of butterflies. 20 years later, there's a lot of things growing in there. There's a lot of butterflies, among other, I think I got 5 or 6 different kinds of peas back there. I mean, stuff just starts to show up. So this is the kind of thing that we as a commission are trying to promote. So how are we doing that? What have we been doing? Go to the next slide. One thing is educating. So you see up here, we contribute to the Arbor Day celebration. That's Kathy showing the kids how to plant a tree. We also donated, I think we donated the trees and we donated some books to the library. Something else you see in the middle there is the second of our public demonstration plantings. A year ago fall, we did one at Lincoln in Maine. Last fall, we did this one at Babb and Louise. So if you're by the Ace Hardware, there's that little parking lot next door. There's a green space next to it. This year, you're gonna see some teeny tiny things coming up because we planted things last fall. But as those things fill in, you'll start to see it looking more like the pretty picture there with all of the different natives going. And if you want to see what it looks like 1 year in, wander over to Lincoln in Maine and you can see what it looks like. It's already had a year to get going. We will be weeding both of those spaces in May, because that's part of what the commission does to take care of it. We didn't just plant it and leave it. We are taking care of it. The other thing that we've been doing on the education side, twice a year, we've been bringing speakers to the library. We're very lucky that one of our commissioners is with Chicago Botanic Gardens, so she has fantastic connections. And we just had a talk a couple weeks ago, another full house. That's a picture of last year. And I'll talk a little bit more about that one in a minute. I'm gonna keep going. Something else that we do, of course, the flagship program for the commission is we recognize the folks in the community who are going out and doing the work of improving those yards 1 yard at a time. So the beautification award winner signs, you'll start to see those popping up at people's gardens. We've actually gotten a few new commissioners because they saw the signs in other people's gardens and said, hey, I want to get involved in this. So that was doing part of what we wanted to do. And the picture just went a little bit too fast. The picture to the right is just a random collection of the many award winners that we recognized last November. We have about 30 that we award every year, and they all get to take their picture with the mayor, so you're on there a lot of times. Sorry. All right, so next up, what have we been doing? We also get very involved in the community events. You will see us at Festival of Cultures, which is the one on the left. We are just working on new and exciting signage for that one. And of course, we walk in the parade. This year, we are going to walk, not ride. We're not going to get a float. We're going to bring a truck. So we thought that might be a little more budget conscious. But we will be bringing our wings. So you'll watch for us. The butterflies will be in the parade. And if anybody wants to walk with us, you're more than welcome to do so. The next slide. What's up this year? Speaking of library talks, on the left side, I read the text, but we had someone from the Lurie Garden come in and give us an amazing talk. Lurie Garden is, of course, a world-class garden. It was pretty exciting that we had the head of the program come to Skokie to tell us all about how to do it. We definitely had a full house for that one, and people were taking notes and very engaged. That, like all of our talks, is posted. There is a YouTube, and we watch to see the counts, and hundreds of people are coming in and watching those, even if they couldn't make the event. So that's always nice. The next thing in the middle there, we are finally getting the Skokie Garden Walk going. This is going to be the first year. We have invited 5 of our Skokie's Best award winners from last year to be our first garden walk. I think we've got 5 or 6 signed up at this point, so we're keeping it not huge the first year. We'll just have a few. And so we will have a formal garden walk on July 12th from 10 to 2. Since those are front yard gardens, it's extremely easy for people to wander by and check them out. Something else we are going to ask all of our other previous winners to do is put their yard signs out that weekend. So anywhere you go in Skokie, hopefully you'll start seeing this is what we're kind of trying to encourage people to do. The other thing on here, we have some grant money that Kathy's been using to plant trees. And we have a lot of businesses in Skokie that have lots of nice green space we can put trees in, but we have to ask them politely if we can do it. So we will be working with Kathy and her intern this summer to get ourselves a nice list to go out and convince people that they really definitely do want big, gorgeous, free trees on their property. So if you are part of one of those businesses, you can sign up early without us calling you. That would be fine. But we'll be reaching out to folks for that. So last slide. We have been tracking on a map where all of our pollinator pantries are showing up. And you can see for 2025, we're starting to get a nice distribution across Skokie. If you actually stack up the last 3 years, we're starting to definitely improve that environment 1 yard at a time. We're very excited about that. We have set up a link tree. That QR code will connect you with our whole list of links. And one of the things you can do there is sign up to be part of our mailing list. And I was just chatting with Meredith about how we can streamline that and push out even more information to people to kind of make them part of this conversation and allow them to contribute and be part of it. So that is a quick summary of what we've been up to. I've just been chaired for the last couple of months, so a lot of this work was actually done under the previous chair, and I want to give him full credit. Bob Quinn did last year's work. So I'm just speaking for it. But having chaired now for 4 months, it's a lot more work to be the chair than just to be a commissioner. So I'm more impressed with Bob than ever. So thank you.
Thank you for this presentation. Thank you for your leadership and for stepping in. And boy, what great work. Each one of our chairs, more enthusiastic. They're all just so enthusiastic about their particular areas. And we're grateful. So thank you. This is important work. Questions, comments? Trustee Shattuck.
Thank you. Yeah, I love all that you're doing, and I'm very proud to have a native garden myself that I planted, and it's over 20 years now, and it just feeds itself in a lot of ways and attracts. And it's in one of those areas that you show a big desert, so gotta make sure posted there. But just another comment, one of my pet peeves is trash. I mean, every day I'm picking stuff out, on the parkway and in the garden, just all kinds of plastic water bottles, fast food trash. And I know a few years ago, like our vehicle sticker was like putting your trash in a can, but I just wonder to what extent the beautification commission is involved in just trying to incentivize people to just put your trash in your pocket or, don't dirty our community.
I share that opinion. I live right along the walking path that's right near the yellow line, and I'm one of the people who is picking up stuff and throwing it away as well. I don't know that our commission has a solution for that, but it's certainly something we can be thinking about. Don't trash our gardens, please. So
Some years ago, the Public Safety Commission actually, it was public safety, wasn't it? They did that anti-litter campaign. It has those signs, I know the trustee Sutton was involved.
Yeah, it must have been, we've had so many.
Yeah.
Litter campaigns, I think the public safety.
I think it
commission
was
did.
public safety that was involved in the anti-litter, and we had a student poster contest, and then we actually turned some of the posters into signs, and some of them were along the Skokie Valley Trail.
And we have a spring green event, and so in March, April of every year, as we have the fall, we encourage individuals, groups of people to contact Public Works. And they can self-select an area of town that they would like to pick up litter, or Public Works keeps a list of spots that have a lot of litter. And so people are out picking it up. In addition to that, we have the annual program where people pick up litter multiple times a year. I believe it's 4 times a year. And so there's a number of streets in town that are part of the Adopt a Street program. And so there's a number of initiatives related to reducing the litter. And so Liz Zimmerman, assistant to the Public Works Director, is really our point person on litter. And so we can summarize what we've done and see if there's a way to collaborate with the Beautification Commission or other ways. But it's an area that we continue to have concern about and strive to be better in. We did have a code change a few years ago that required trash cans to be outside of certain businesses, gas stations, fast food restaurants. And so that where the source of the litter, there's a trash receptacle for people. For example, when you go through a drive-through, you may notice that there's a trash can there. That's actually a code requirement of the village as an attempt to try to prevent the litter from getting on our streets. And so we have a long history of
really working to reduce litter. Always nice to revisit that and see what else we can do.
Kudos on the garden lawn. That is so exciting. Yeah, finally, and that has potentially. People come from other, I mean, I've gone to garden walks in other communities. So as this. No pun intended, takes root. It has, is repeated year after year. It can become a way of bringing people from outside our community in to enjoy Skokie. Maybe they'll stop and get a cup of coffee somewhere or just see how beautiful it is. So
Sit under a big tree while they're drinking the coffee.
there you go.
All right.
Any other comments or questions? Thank you for your leadership and your enthusiasm. Thank you. Ken. Thank you.
You all for your support.
That's gonna put a tree in my park. Very excited.
But it's owl.
Yeah.
Okay, we're ahead of schedule. I'm happy to point out. And may the record reflect. And we wanted to set aside just a few minutes to just have a discussion. We're not quite done. We've got a couple more. We'll hear from the Performing Arts Center, and Alex will briefly go over the grant program. But I wanted to just take a beat and see if there were any issues relative to the budget that anyone wanted to bring up now. Any thoughts you have, any reflections? John, do you care to jump in?
Happy to, as a result of the 4 budget hearings, the decisions that the board has made will be reflected in the budget recap memo that comes back to the board in a couple of weeks at a board meeting. So the budget will reflect these discussions and is largely the proposed budget, but just a chance to answer any final questions or address any concerns or comments that have not yet been served.
Oh. Any comments? Trustee Schechter.
Yeah, I just wanted to raise the issue of having a lobbyist, because that was in our February manager's message or the report, and just wondered if you could talk a little bit about that and where that is in this. I know that was a pilot this year.
Yeah, so a little history. The village, and John, jump in if I freelance incorrectly. The village has historically, for many years, retained the services of a lobbyist. That has been a budget item. And where was it?
It's in the trustees budget.
Trustees budget. When we took office last year, we really stopped that. And we're approached by some lobbyists wanting to know if we would consider engaging their services. So what we did late last year, we issued a request for proposals. And the thought that John and I had was to issue an RFP to consider bringing a firm on short term for just this spring legislative session. And I always, my approach to lobbying or where we're at with our legislators, and I've told them this as much. We want to retain local control. We know best. We know what's best for Skokie. We want Springfield, with respect, to please stay out of our pocketbooks. Don't erode the funds that have been promised to us or put unfunded mandates on us that command budget resources that we want to allocate to community programs that, again, we know best. And then third, if there are state funds that can be made available to support some of our initiatives that reflect our values and our strategic plan, please. We would, so for example, our legislators do ask us for lists of capital projects for which we could use their support if it's available. We put in stormwater retention, lead service line replacement. I know there's a long list.
Public safety for the buildings.
Right. Etc. So we interviewed 4 or 5 firms. And we chose Sullivan and Rauchi. One of the principals, Mr. Rauchi, I understand, is retired. One of the principals, Dave Sullivan, I've known Mr. Sullivan for many, many years. Former legislator. Very well respected on both sides of the aisle. They've been helpful. We're not really using them yet to advocate for any specific legislation. We have strong enough relationships with our legislators and through the work of the Northwest Municipal Conference, the Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus, and the Illinois Municipal League. Our positions are fleshed out and are, presented, and we have had conversations with our legislators. What we're really looking for is to see how they can help influence what resources from Springfield can come to Skokie. And so we'll see. We're in a trial period. We made it clear that this is a trial period. We'll evaluate at the end and we'll determine what we might want to do going forward. I think Trustee Schechter's question though was, if we do decide to move forward in the coming fiscal year, FY 27, are there funds in the budget?
There's a line item in the budget for government liaison.
And is that in the
The
trustees'
trustees'
budget? Okay.
Under page 12, under professional services. In the grayed out area.
Oh. Yeah, under, it's line item 001-0201, it's 403.03-0. It's the third from the bottom.
Oh, government liaison,
Yes.
is that it? Okay.
And I have to say, the group that we're working with has been very helpful, pointing us in the right direction, and helping us kind of get through some barriers that helped us resolve both the parking situation at Cleveland and Carlaw and the timing of the lights on Dempster Street that just this past weekend changed at Dempster Street in East Prairie to allow for an automatic walk signal between the hours of 3 p.m. Friday, 9 p.m. Saturday, so that the lights automatically at the intersection signal to walk, and it provides pedestrians with a longer crossing period than if the button would when the button isn't pushed. It's a much shorter time.
Just a follow-up, thank you for pointing out where, and thanks for explaining it.
Sure.
For pointing out where it is as well, so. With a big increase, so if it goes up from this trial 25,000 to 54,000, does that mean we'll have to do some kind of procurement process?
Well, and just to be clear, we did that this time. Even though it was, we suspected it would come under the threshold of the $25,000.
That's right.
Which is, right, but we did go through a competitive, that was very important to me, that we go through a competitive process.
So we reached out to our peer communities and talked to them about who they use for this role. Many municipalities have multiple liaisons that they're working with. Government has become somewhat complicated, and so it's nice to have these partners in order to navigate and to be able to secure funding for some of our significant expenses. And so this trial period is really featuring an opportunity to hear from the other municipalities, what positive experiences they had, who they recommended, and then for us to be able to do a short several month trial process to see how it works for us and whether or not it's effective. And so we'll be assessing it and then making a recommendation on how we want to proceed after this trial.
Right, and any contract over that exceeds $25,000 comes to the village board. And would certainly be undertaken, always in a competitive process, there's no question about that. Any other thoughts, questions about the FY 27 budget? Okay, if not, we're almost across the finish line, friends. Well, we're almost there. Next, Performing Arts Center.
Mayor.
Yes.
Oh, just a real quick break.
Oh, sure, yes, absolutely. Okay, we will break. Thank you for asking. My apologies. We will take a quick break. We will convene at 8 p.m. Perfect. 10 minutes. Okay. Okay, I think everyone's back. Trustee Pure Slovan and trustee Kamani Levy. Just, I think we're gonna go ahead and start as long as you're with us.
I'm with you. Yes, thank you, Mayor. It's Allison.
I'm thinking she may, oh, there she is, okay. Thank you, trustee Kamani Levy. All right, we now will hear from the Performing Arts, North Shore Center for the Performing Arts team. We have Alex Franz, who is our staff liaison. We have HR Cook, Venue Works Regional Vice President, Mr. Mike Silva, Chief Operating Officer, and Lynn Cannon, who is our Executive Director. And Venue Works is the firm in which the village has contracted since 2023 to operate the facility and handle programming as well. So please.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm here to report on our fiscal year 26 and a little peek ahead to our fiscal year 27. Just a few things that we wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of as the year goes by so quickly. But in 2025 to 26, we had more than 150,000 people attend events at the center. Over 400 different events were performed at the North Shore Center, and our 2 theaters were utilized for more than 336 days, including some holidays. So whether that be rehearsal days, performance days, conference days, whatever the case may be, we had a lot of events last year. We do some surveys of our attendees and found that 65% of attendees who come to our North Shore Center Presents events reported dining in the area before or after an event with us. And just using a modest $20 per person as a budget for that, we can estimate that the economic impact of those attendees was $1.8 million in restaurant sales in the area. So overall, this has been a very, very fantastic year for us. In 2026, we saw significant growth in ticket sales and awareness of our center. I really want to shout out our new marketing manager, Sophie Woolley, came to us just over a year ago and has really transformed our marketing efforts and drove revenue and ticket sales when the national entertainment market was shrinking. The North Shore Center saw an increase in ticket sales from fiscal year 25 to 26. One of the greatest events we did last year was in conjunction with the the Community Development Department here at the village. In the summer, we did Clue, a walking mystery here in downtown Skokie. If any of you were in and out of the area, we had our tent over at the library park, and then that's where the group started their tour. And it was a walking tour of downtown Skokie where 8 to 10 different shops participated as a spot to go and search for clues in the mystery of who murdered Mr. Body in the Clue mystery. We did track some cell phone data, and Carol White helped us come up with some information from the AI tracker, which showed us an increase of 14% in foot traffic during those weeks in downtown Skokie, which was in late July and early August, and it's often a very downtime for shopping in the downtown area. And that event also helped the center secure a new sponsorship with the Village Inn. So now we offer Village Inn pizza at our events at the North Shore Center. So it was a benefit to us as well to have that new partnership blooming. Within the community, we hosted the Will's Place fundraiser last summer featuring Al Stewart and the Empty Pockets, which generated more than $24,000 for their organization. And we're excited that they'll be back this year with another new show and some special guests as well. And we also want to really shout out the grants that we received from organizations such as the Skokie Valley Rotary Club, the Kiwanis Club of Skokie Valley, who partnered with us to be able to offer low cost and discount or free tickets to organizations such as the local schools for our youth theater performances, and even VetTix, which offers free tickets to veterans of the military to be able to attend concerts as well. VenueWorks is proud to be the management team for the North Shore Center. We really enjoy working with everybody here in the village of Skokie. And we're pleased to share that our year-to-date revenues for fiscal year 26 through the end of March, the revenues are up 11%. Our overall numbers are up over 50% from last year. And attendance, as I said, is up year over year as well. Last week, we kicked off our 30th anniversary celebration. This year will mark 30 years of the North Shore Center here in Skokie. And we're so excited to be able to bring back some of the entertainers who were playing in the center 30 years ago. Last week, we had Michael Feinstein back for the first time since 1996. And it was a lot of fun. We had 2 shows with Michael Feinstein and little Linda Eder. And we will be doing some of those special callbacks to entertainers from the past, as well as having a special rotating lobby display throughout the year that will put a new display up every month. We were going through the archives at the center and found so many unique and interesting facts about the North Shore Center from, the beginnings where it was just a thought in someone's head all the way through the construction phase and through to today where we're, reaching our 30th year and looking forward to another 30. And finally, we're excited to be in the hunt for a naming rights partner for the North Shore Center. This very exclusive and unique opportunity to highlight a business's commitment to the community through a partnership with a very highly regarded and well-attended venue is rare, and we are really excited to be able to seek that new opportunity with a local business. So that is our roundup for our business this year.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Alex, anything you care to add as our staff liaison?
No, just want to thank Lynn and all the venue works. They make my job very easy, and they're great to work with, and have really improved the center in a short time.
Yeah, I think we really enjoyed it as well.
Can we talk about the variety of programming? I'm particularly interested in how the space is utilized by the community. And in particular, the different cultures that are.
Well, for sure, we have, as everybody who's had any children in dance lessons knows, we have dance season right on top of us right now. So we have between 5 and 7 different dance companies that come and do their spring recitals through the center. And each of them bring anywhere from 5 to 7 shows with them each time they come to perform. So we have thousands and thousands of the dancers in the community that come in and use that space for their end of the year recitals. And in addition to that, we do fundraisers, as I had mentioned. So organizations, community will come and use the center, whether it be for an entertainment fundraiser where there's a show on the stage, or even just a lobby, food and drink fundraiser. We've had both of those opportunities here. But we find that, we are now able to book some of the shows in the small theater, the 318 seat theater, the North Theater. And we are reaching out to more of our local bands and entertainers that are available to us, because that space might be the best fit for them, and being able to grow their audience and bring people to the center that are in the area already.
Speaking of the North Theater, when is North Light Theater to stop programming and move to their new space?
So they are already out of the office spaces. The office employees have already moved out of the building. They are currently in production with their final performances of their show An Angel Next Door. And that will be May 10th is their final performance.
In our building?
Yes.
Okay. And how's Music Theater Works doing?
Their attendance continues to grow. In fact, I was looking year over year at the December performances, which is, a really big time for people to look for something to do with family or guests that are in town. And we just looked at those particular numbers year over year for the last 3 years. They've continued to grow that December timeframe, and they'll be doing Hairspray this year in that time. So, yeah.
Questions or comments? Yeah, Trustee Lissalee.
So you mentioned this call for sponsorship and naming rights.
Oh, yeah.
Can you describe the parameters of what you're looking for?
So we're looking for somebody an organization, a company that's looking to really look for a way to expand their focus in the community. I think it's really a community partnership. So somebody who's looking to be able to reach 150,000 people who come to our organization every year, and the thousands more who see our advertising. So every time you see an advertisement for North Shore Center, if that company's name was in front of that North Shore Center or a part of that name, it would expand their ability to advertise and let people know that they're supporting a really great organization in this community and the arts in the community. So I think it's a good partnership for both kinds of companies, and we're seeking a company that's looking to be able to do that.
What is your vetting process like?
So of course, anybody that is interested in it, we would have the village would have to approve any. Yeah, that was an original thing, right? So the village would have to approve the name or the name itself as well as the organization that we would approach. So I keep in touch with Alex and we talk about which companies we're approaching so that he's well aware who we are thinking of next, which companies we're looking to reach out to so that there's no secrets, there's no hiding it. Great.
So that would come to us, and it's nothing, there would not be any name change or any.
Not with any
arrangement
without
entered
approval.
without us being involved.
Exactly.
Trustee Schechter.
Yeah, I'm struck in the sort of additional materials that we got on page 11 and on revenues, it says, I just want to read, it says national ticket sales are starting to level off or decline as the economy is tightened and discretionary funds are limited. However, in FY 26, our ticket sales increased by all three major residents at the center. And I'm just curious, like, how is it that we're bucking this trend? Like, what are we doing right?
Well, one of the things that we did differently this year was our targeted marketing. And I know there was a few bullet points in that longer list of highlights that showed how we really started to focus in on targeted marketing for each of our shows. And our new marketing manager was able to help with that information that she brought with her from a previous business to be able to really find the audience. We know that people receive their information more and more now digitally, whether it be on their phone or on their computer, whether it be listening to a radio podcast or a streaming channel online. So we started to utilize those types of avenues of advertising more and more and stuck with the ones that were working. So even our weekly newsletter that goes out to our database, which has now over 125,000 people have signed up to be a part of our newsletter. Just when we send that information out via that newsletter, we see the ticket sales happen. So, and that's just free, right? That's just us sending out an email to people who signed up to let us know that they're interested.
Well, I'm gonna test that out. Sign up.
Sign up for the newsletter.
Trustee Robbins.
I love the variety. I'm one of those families who've been there for years for the dance performances.
Great.
And my wife just went and saw Michael Jackson.
Wasn't that great on Friday? He was amazing. And that was the first night that Michael documentary that was released in the movie theater. So it's good timing.
I think our free parking is a benefit as well.
Oh, for sure. It also helps us when we're booking, right? So when we're talking to different artists and offering our theater as an option, that's one of the things we tell them is that our theater offers free parking, which is different from some of the city theaters where you would have to pay for parking or have to walk several blocks to get to the theater.
Other questions or comments? Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for
I really enjoy being part of this organization, this community. It's really fun for us.
Thank you, sir.
Honored to be a part of it.
Safe travel.
Thank you very much.
Gentlemen are here from Iowa. So
Corporate headquarters.
Corporate.
It's all right. I'd like to see you guys once in a while. All right, good night, everybody.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. We'll turn the floor over now to Alex Franz, Assistant to the Village Manager, to talk about our grant program.
Thank you and good evening, everyone. Today, I'm happy to present the FY 27 grant programming budget. Every year on behalf of the Board of Trustees, the village provides grant funds to Skokie nonprofit organizations and government entities for community-centered events, programs, and performances. Purpose of the grants is to build a sense of community by providing Skokie residents with entertainment and cultural opportunities that bring them together. This year, the FY 27 grant programming budget remains flat from the prior year, and just like the prior year, funding is recommended for 5 organizations: the Sculpture Park, the Skokie Park District for the Festival of Cultures, 4th of July fireworks, and Backlot Bash, the 4th of July Parade Committee for the 4th of July Parade, the Talking Farm for their internship program, and the North Shore Center for the Performing Arts for their youth theater series. With that, I would be happy to answer any questions.
Any comments or questions about this grant allocation? Remember, there are other nonprofits in the community that receive funds through community development block grants and other pools of funds that we're able to make available.
You always do a thorough presentation with our recipients, so
Yes, they do.
that's greatly appreciated.
Yeah. Great, thank you, Madam. Public comment, sir, you have 3 minutes. Okay.
My name is James Carnassus. I'm a resident here in Skokie, and I'm also business owner of JT Carnassus at Oakton Park. Recently, there was a mural installed at Kilpatrick and Oakton. It's magnificent. I've spoken with the artist on several occasions. Very friendly individual. And she's informed me she's a graduate of the Art Institute of Chicago. Her work exemplifies that. It truly is fantastic. It's worth a look. Do drive by, stop, admire, and take pride in this. I asked her, who put you up to this? She said that you all did. So I'm here to thank you for that. I'm very proud of my neighborhood now. I feel like it's a betterment that really is a long time coming. Another project that I'm looking forward to is breaking of ground on Oakton for the new road. The current road hasn't been put in since years ago, decades now, I believe. So it's atrocious, and I'm really looking forward to ripping it out, putting in something new. While you're there, I want you to take notice of the area. There are vacancies there. And there are businesses that were there that have moved out. One in particular is the jeweler, right across from Oakton. He couldn't sustain a business. He's gone. There are others as well who are in the same boat. They need help. That area, if it's improved, if we fix it, like the rest of Oakton to the west, put in like pottery on the lampposts.
Yes.
Signage, all the rest that comes with it. I think that'll make for an attractive area that tenants will want to move in on. You know, they'll see an area here with cheap rent and think, I've got to go there. This is, this is ground floor, on plastics, like in It's a Wonderful Life. They would want to go there. That's what I'm hoping will happen, but it'll take initiative on your part. So that's why I wanted to come here tonight during the budgeting process to plant that seed in your mind so that it grow, so that you can set aside some funds. Get the ball.
Thank you, Mr. Cardenas. Unfortunately, your time is up.
Okay.
Thank you for making the effort to come to see.
Okay, you're welcome.
And for sharing your thoughts with us.
Of course.
We do appreciate it very, very much. And I, just to point out, the area that Mr. Cardenas is speaking of, we do have what I would consider a destination business there, Diana's Bridals. People come from all over to go to that bridal salon. So it is, there's bridal tours. People do it, they come from all over. Okay, I only have one other item that I would like to raise for the board's consideration. We're at the string of a lot of long meetings here. Some of our fellow boards in other communities will relax their schedules a bit during the summer. And I wanted to see what your thoughts are for the possibility of meeting once per month in July and August rather than twice. Now, we would not do a committee of the whole and a meeting and a closed session. If we needed to, we would, we could always call another meeting, but it would be probably committee of the whole. What we would do is we would try to plan it, so we would have a committee of the whole before one of them. And if we needed it, a closed session after another one of them, single meetings, we would have those months. Just food for thought. Any immediate reactions? Trustee Lizzie.
I think that's really gonna be highly dependent on what we're trying to accomplish during that time. And I think it's important to stay nimble as we
Yes.
know what the federal government is gonna
Of
do, and
course.
how that's gonna impact us.
Mhm.
So my sense would be, I'm open to it with an asterisk.
Yeah.
Um,
That's how I believe too. If we can relax it a bit during the summer, there's a lot of other things that we can be present at during the summer. But if we need to, we could always call them. Trustee Robinson, any feedback from you?
Yeah, I think to be concise and intentional about the time that we have together. I think that makes a lot of sense. Again, if anything comes up that requires our attention as a collective. Yeah, I think that's. Sounds like. a plan.
I'll give trustee Schechter, I'll come around here, but I'm going to stop. Trustee Kermani Levy or trustee Allison Pierce Slovan. Any thoughts from you on the suggestion of us meeting once per month in July? Once each in July and then again in August.
I have no objection whatsoever, and
Trustee Pierce Slovan, you're
Sorry.
muted.
Oh,
Yes.
no. Is it still muted? I unmuted. Can't hear me?
I can hear her.
You're unmuted, but we can't hear you for some reason.
What?
So I'm
Baby,
hearing-
please.
Well, she's unmuted.
Can you hear me now?
Trustee Pierce Slovan,
Now it's muted.
It's-
Now she's
now you're muted.
She's still unmuted.
You're
you can
unmuted.
hit the volume button on your machine.
Maybe try the volume.
No,
What do you think?
Trustee Kamani Levy? Oh, there's. Any
Yeah.
feedback from you?
I have similar sentiments as the other. No?
Oh, it's
Still
something
no?
on our, it's something
Oh,
on
okay.
our end.
Okay.
Yeah, it must be. Come on, because you and I can talk.
It's just,
Yeah, I can hear Allison.
And I could hear
Hang
Kamani.
tight. We're figuring it out. In the meantime, though, can you still hear us?
yeah.
Yes.
Schechter, do you have any immediate
I-
thoughts, comments?
I have nothing to add to what
Okay,
my colleagues have said.
okay. John, are you thinking we would meet the first or the third Monday? Like, what are you thinking we would do?
Because of the way 4th falls, July 4th is a Saturday. And so the meeting would be that Monday, Tuesday, the 6th or 7th. That we would that would probably be the best meeting to not have in July. And so in order to keep things sequentially and the village's business moving, it would be important to meet the second meeting of July. And then the first meeting of August could be canceled, and then meet the second meeting of August. So the meeting on July 20th and the meeting on August 17th would be the two that I would recommend having.
That we would schedule, and then if needed, we could schedule a meeting on July 6th. Or whatever that first Monday in August is. Oh,
August 3rd.
August 3rd. Are we, our audio?
Let's see.
Okay. Trustee Pierce Slovan, we'll start with you and see if our audio is fixed.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, loud word.
Okay, terrific. And I see, wait, Kamani Levy put something in the chat. I have the same sentiments as trustee Levy that it depends on topics and the urgency of getting them in front of the board. I would agree with those statements.
Okay. So thank you, everyone. That's thoughtful and, consistent feedback. I'm of a like mind. So for right now, our tentative plan will be last meeting in July we'll proceed with, last meeting in August we'll proceed with, and if needed, the first meeting in July and the first meeting in August. So just mark your calendars accordingly. Anything else from the board? Trustee Lizzie.
I would like to figure out what we can do as a board to address the hate incidents that are increasing. So if this is a committee of whole meeting,
Pain incidents.
yeah, so Because I think this is this is becoming even more urgent.
So there are a number of, and I'm so glad you brought that up and asked that question. Thank you. Raised the issue. So there are a number of parallel tracks. John and I have been on the phone with our community partners throughout, since yesterday. We are looking to convene a meeting within, this week with our partners, with the Park District, from the Jewish leadership in the community and our police department to talk about the immediate issue of safety in the parks. So we will be having that discussion this week. We are also working with the schools, and within the next, it won't be this week, but hopefully next week, if not the week after, there will be a meeting with all of the school superintendents. And then at my request, I've asked that a member of each school board also attend that meeting. Preferably the chair or president of the school board, but if that individual is not available, someone from the elected body of each school board also be present. Then that meeting also will include, the village, the park district, and the representatives from the leadership in the Jewish community. Then on May 20th, the Faith Leaders Council, that was our already scheduled meeting. So we will be meeting with the Faith Leaders Council, and Trustee Pure Slogan is a partner in that anyway. She comes to those meetings, and I chair them, but she's right at my side, and Lisa will be there, and we will have a discussion among the faith leaders. What we're looking to do is have these 3 meetings between now and the end of May. And then look at what we might do. And remember, on a parallel track, our Human Relations Commission is in. So first priority, safety in the parks. We're going to talk about that this week, see what we can do. Convene the schools and some of their electeds. Talk about, again, our collective responsibility in responding. Meet with then the next meeting on May 20th with our Faith Leaders Council. From there, we're going to look at what we might do as a community. Stay tuned on that. Trustee Robinson.
Only thing I would add, just for consideration,
please.
End of the school year is the end of May. We want to get kids and have some type of traction in the school communities. Times of this. So.
Right. One of the things we are looking at, I should add, is a caveat, and I appreciate that. With Park District, and it's not schools per se, but it has to do with students over the summer. Looking at special training, my understanding on hate incidents and anti-Semitism in particular for lifeguards and camp counselors. Our Human Relations Commission was already working. I'm so pleased that in the wake of what happened in this community on October 7th, Trustee Schechter, Trustee Pure-Slovan, you're aware, the Human Relations Commission had already talked about the necessity of training camp counselors. Lifeguards have now been added to that. So it's a societal problem. It's a community issue. Everyone needs to be part of the solution. So we're working towards that. John, anything to add?
So excellent summary and all the initiatives that are.
Yeah, we're not going to stop until we're going to keep this moving. Trustee Schechter.
Just a comment and then a question. My comment is, so I was at the Human Relations Commission meeting last week. It was last Wednesday, it was a subcommittee looking at potential entities to do anti-Semitism training. And during public comment, we had 2 in the beginning and then at the end, but really it was universal, the kudos that the village got for immediately speaking out and being definitive against hate, against anti-Semitism. It was very different even from last October. And I just thought that shows that we're doing something right.
Thank you for sharing that, trustee Schechter. There were some hard lessons that we learned last October.
No, trustee Pierce,
Trustee Pierce Slovan.
Thank you, thank you. So also just, and the village is doing everything that can be done under these trying circumstances and representing the community at this moment. I would say everybody appreciates it, but for those parents who are calling me, because I'm getting, as you can imagine, a lot of calls about afraid to send their kids on the Sabbath, on Shabbat to the park. My response is don't be afraid, but you know, we sit home and we read a book on the Sabbath, go take the book to the park. And you know, it's a communal responsibility on our part as well until we can solve the issue. And that we have to be the watch guards like they did in this last incident, which didn't escalate because the parents were there of the Jewish students and took them out of this situation. So just so you know that we are really advocating for the community to understand that unfortunately until the village could figure it out, and it's societal, it's not just the village, it's in many places, but that we are having the conversations within the village, but we have to take responsibility for our children right now as well. So thank you.
Thank you, trustee Pierce Slovan.
Trustee Schechter said a different topic.
Okay, but before we get to that, I just want to, trustee Kamani Levy, before we move on to a different topic, anything from you on this matter?
No, I again share the same sentiments as the other trustees. It's just. Yeah, it's just a difficult topic to discuss, and the fact that it's children just bothers me a lot. But all we can do is do what we can and hope that our efforts are making an impact.
Thank you. Okay, thank you for raising the topic, trustee Liston. Trustee Schechter.
So a different topic. Several residents have come to me with concerns about the yellow line and the CTA, especially this last issue. People are really upset who depend on the yellow line. One person even mentioned to me, look, we're trying to incentivize more businesses by the Oakton station, but these things keep happening. Is there a way that we as a village can, you know, get somebody from the CTA to give a, just like we had IDOT, can we get the CTA? Like, what can we do to let the CTA know that they can't, you know, they have to pay attention to safety and they can't be having downtime that lasts so long?
So one of the things, and just a wee little bit of history, when the yellow line was shut down from May through November of 2015,
Right.
we went to, I was still in my other role at that point, and we went to the CTA because the village of Skokie was a good partner to them during that stoppage. They didn't get the phone calls from frustrated commuters, we did. And so we went to them and when it was all over and said, how about helping us fund advertising for people to ride the yellow line and come to Skokie? And they did, they stepped up and we were able to purchase, I'm looking at Nick because he was my partner in that. We purchased something like 20,000, it was $120,000 worth of advertising approximately for a fraction. I think we paid less than $20,000. We wrapped buses, we had signs at different platforms in the city. I mean, it was a very comprehensive campaign. That said, better that the line wasn't shut down for 5 months. I share your concern. I heard an NPR report. It was an off the cuff kind of a just a crosstalk between a couple of the commentators on NPR on Friday morning, talking about there have been 3 instances with the yellow line in 11 years, right? Because the longest one, that was in 2015. So John and I talked about it today, and we're going to see if we can have a representative from the CTA come to one of our village board meetings in June to give us a presentation. So stay tuned on that. Trustee Leslie.
Piggybacking on the yellow line, which is an area of special interest to me. Many years out, I know that it would be, can we start the process of figuring out how to extend the yellow line from Deptford to Old Orchard.
I am
Makes
so-
no sense.
So in my, yes, so John and I have already started those conversations with the governor's office, with our legislators, and with our community partners in the Old Orchard corridor, the Illinois Holocaust Museum and Education Center, Westfield, Old Orchard, with all the new development up there. So we are starting, I'm really pleased and proud to tell you, those conversations started last November. When this was proposed in 2007 or so, the plans were rejected by our community. And I think with good reason. The plans called for too great of an impact on Niles Moore. So some of that planning needs to, Trustee Robinson's looking, maybe you were staff at the time, if you remember that. So there will need to be some new planning efforts. But we have started, those conversations are underway. Thank you. Sure. Anything else? I'm so sorry, we have closed public comments. But you're welcome to give us something in writing or speak to our village manager afterwards. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, well, we need a motion to adjourn. Moved by trustee Lissa Levy. Is there a second? Trustee Schechter? And will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Kamani Levy,
Aye.
trustee Robinson,
Right.
for the record, trustee Iverson, I'm gonna mark absent.
Yes.
I don't think he joined us. Trustee Lissa Levy,
Aye.
trustee Pierce Slovan,
Aye.
trustee Schechter.